How one man changed basketball forever. It's a tale as old as time. Someone comes along who is not only great at their craft, but changes the game for generations to come. Babe Ruth did it for baseball, Wayne Gretzky did it for hockey, and Michael Jordan did it for basketball. Welcome to my channel, and today we're going to look back at the life and times of his airnet. So let's start at the beginning. Born February 17th, 1963 in Brooklyn, New York. MJ grew up in Wilmington, North Carolina. Coming from an athletic family, his father, James, played minor league baseball, and his mother, Dolores, was a bank teller and an amateur track and field athlete. After winning 2 gold medals in the 1968 Olympic trials, in elementary school, young Michael competed against kids older than him. Because he was bored and wanted a challenge, he would often go home crying after losing to the bigger boys. That's when his dad built him a hoop in the driveway and taught him how to play. "I realized that if I kept playing basketball, I would never be bored again," said Jordan. It wasn't long before Michael turned into the best player at his high school, Emsley Senior High. He led the team to consecutive state championships, earning Gatorade National Player of the Year honors twice. But Jordan was still seen as a small fish in a big pond, so he decided to take his talents to college. He had narrowed his choices down to North Carolina and Duke, but ultimately chose to stay in state and play for the Tar Heels. As a freshman, he made Dean Smith's varsity squad, but came off the bench for most of the season. But in the biggest game of the year, the ACC Championship, Jordan came off the bench to score 14 points in the second half to lead UNC to victory. He was named ACC Rookie of the Year and was a consensus first-team All-American. And while he was at it, he'd be just the 3rd player in NCAA history to win National Player of the Year honors from both the Associated Press and the NABC. As a junior, Jordan and the Tar Heels won the 1982 NCAA championship. Shore then scored 18 points and grabbed 10 rebounds in the title game versus Georgetown. When asked about his thoughts going into the championship game, Jordan replied, "I thought we were gonna win. I knew what I could do. I was confident." And that confidence would carry over into his professional career. And speaking of the pros, it wasn't long before Jordan was looking forward to the next chapter in his life, and there was no better way to prepare for that than by getting himself noticed in the NBA draft. This brings us to June 26, 1984. At TS Point, Jordan was widely considered to be the No. 1 pick in the draft. And wouldn't you know it, the Chicago Bulls had the top selection. The crowd was electric as Commissioner Larry O'Brien announced to the world that the Chicago Bulls had selected Michael Jeffrey Jordan from the University of North Carolina. Jordan would go on to play 13 seasons with the Bulls, winning 6 NBA championships, 5 regular season MVP awards, and being named to 9 All-Defensive First Teams. He also earned an All-Star Game MVP honors 3 times and was named Finals MVP each time the Bulls won a championship. Jordan was famous for his acrobatic layups, slam dunks, and turnaround fadeaway jump shot. But his biggest shots came in the clutch. For example, in the 1989 Eastern Conference, first round against the Cleveland Cavaliers, Jordan hit a jump shot over Craig Ello with 1 second left to win the game. It was dubbed the shot and is still talked about to this very day. While MJ was amazing, the Bulls had to endure a lot of losing seasons before they found success. From 1986 to 1987, the Bulls went from winning 38 games to winning 55, which got them into the playoffs for the first time since 1978. Although they lost to the Celtics in the second round, it gave hope to Chicago fans that better days were ahead. The following season, 2 Bulls won 65 games and made it to the Eastern Conference Finals, where they met the 76ers. Chicago won the series in 6 games and advanced to their first NBA Finals ever. There they met the Los Angeles Lakers, led by Magic Johnson. Chicago would drop the first 2 games in LA, but then return home and win the next 3 games. Game 6 was one of the greatest games in NBA history. With 10 seconds left, the Bulls were down by 1. Scottie Pippen drove to the basket and kicked the ball out to John Paxson, who nailed a 15-foot jumper to win the game. The Bulls had just won their first NBA championship. Chicago would go on to win the next 2 games and the series. Jordan was named Finals MVP, but the Lakers would get their revenge the following season. They would beat the Bulls in 4 straight games in the 1991 NBA Finals, but Chicago would turn the tables the following year. After taking care of business in the Eastern Conference, the Bulls headed to the finals once again, this time to face the Portland Trail Blazers. The Bulls took care of business by winning the series in 6 games. Again, Jordan was named Finals MVP. As dominant as Jordan was, he wasn't without his rivals. His biggest rival in the NBA was Detroit Pistons' Isaiah Thomas. The two went head-to-head in the Eastern Conference Finals in 1988 and 1989, with Detroit coming out victorious both times. But Jordan would get his revenge in 1991 when he and the Bulls beat the Pistons in the Eastern Conference Finals. Another rival was Boston Celtics' Larry Bird. The two were often mentioned in the same breath as the best players in the game, and their battles in the regular season and the playoffs did not disappoint. While Bird had the edge early in their careers, Jordan would flip the script later on. After defeating the Celtics in the 1986 playoffs, Jordan taunted Bird by mimicking his behavior. This caused a huge rift between the two. But Jordan would put all that aside when the two found themselves on the same team in the 1992 Olympics. They led the US to a gold medal. If you didn't know already, Jordan's impact went beyond the basketball court. In the 1980s, basketball was largely an American sport. However, when Jordan started hitting the scene, everything changed. During the 1992 Olympics, Jordan was so popular that Spanish sports daily Marca ran the headline, "The Black Superman lands in Barcelona." And while Jordan was dominating the competition on the court, he was also breaking barriers off of it. On September 29, 1984, Jordan signed an endorsement deal with Nike. At the time, Nike was relatively unknown, but Jordan helped push the brand into the stratosphere. To date, the Air Jordan brand has sold more than 1 billion pairs of sneakers. In 1993, Jordan shocked the world when he abruptly retired from the NBA. He tried his hand at baseball, but after struggling to make the minor leagues, he returned to the NBA in 1995. His return was documented in an ad campaign entitled "I'm Back." And he wasted no time picking up right where he left off. The Bulls would win 3 more championships in 1996, 1997, and 1998. The 1998 NBA Finals was one for the ages. The Bulls faced the Utah Jazz in a best-of-7 series that went the distance. Game 6 was tied with 87 seconds left. When Jordan hit a jumper to put the Bulls ahead for good, the Bulls would win the game and the series. It was the last NBA championship for Jordan, and the last game of the series will be remembered forever. With 5 seconds left on the clock and the Bulls ahead by 1, Jordan drove to the basket and hit a jump shot over Brian Russell. The shot would become known as the last shot. After the 1997-98 season, Jordan retired from the Bulls for good. He briefly came out of retirement again in 2001 to play for the Washington Wizards. However, injuries limited him to only 61 games over 2 seasons. But even during those tough times, he showed flashes of brilliance, such as when he hit a game-winning shot against the Los Angeles Clippers. On April 16, 2003, Jordan played his final NBA game against the Atlanta Hawks. On September 10, 2008, Jordan was inducted into the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame. In his speech, he thanked everyone who helped him along the way. To be truly successful, you must have people around you who are committed to excellence, said Jordan. Talent wins games, but to win championships, you need a great team and a great coach. When asked to sum up his career, Jordan said, "My whole career has been a blessing. If you do something you love, you never work a day in your life. I loved what I did and I never looked at it as a job. I think that's the most important thing." While Jordan is widely regarded as the greatest player of all time, he's more than that. He's a symbol of excellence. He showed the world that hard work and dedication can pay off. He's an inspiration to millions and a legend who changed basketball forever. Now it's time to hear from you. What is your favorite Michael Jordan memory? Share your thoughts below, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of our future videos. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out more of our videos.